Thank you, Council President Shaw. This is Mayor Shave and it's Wednesday, January 27th, 2021 at 7:38 p.m. And I call the Aberdeen City Council meeting to order. First thing I would like to do is ask for a moment of silence for retired Aberdeen Fire Chief Steve Mitchell. Thank you, everyone. Public comment period is included during the Zoom video meetings. The public was notified that if they wish to speak during the meeting, an email be sent to Patricia Soul, City Clerk, and indicate if they would like to speak or have the clerk read the comment. If they desire to comment live, they will be called on during the meeting and allowed to speak for 3 minutes. The written comments provided before the meeting have been provided to City Council members and will read into the following or into the record up to the current 3-minute time limit. Ms. Soul, will you take a roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Andrews?
You just spoke out.
Councilmember Ellis?
Yes, here.
Councilmember Francie?
Here.
Councilmember Gordon?
Here.
Councilmember Koshman? Here. Councilmember Kennedy?
Present.
Councilmember Mackey?
Here.
Councilmember Richrod?
Here.
Councilmember Ross?
Here.
Councilmember Shaw?
Here.
Councilmember Short?
Here.
Mayor Shaw? Shave?
Here.
All are present.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the minutes of the previous meeting.
Mayor Shave.
Yes.
This is Council President Shaw, and I would move we adopt the minutes of the previous meeting.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is special agenda items. I would entertain a motion to add a report under special agenda items regarding the resignation of current city council member and to announce a request for applications from that ward.
I so move.
I'll second.
Motion was made and seconded to add this item to the agenda under special agenda items. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's see. Where are we? I just lost my place with all this papers. We are under, there's a special agenda item also in the next reports and communications, item 3.
Mayor Shave.
Yes.
I would move that the council confirm the reorganization from a report from the Committee on Committees and our standing committees for the ensuing year.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to accept the report on the committees of committees. Is there any discussion? Can you, under discussion, could you read that report? Do you have it?
I could, but I didn't have it called up in advance. It went out to the full council. But I would just share that the only change is that in this era of COVID, we elected to try and be as stable as possible. But Mayor Frank Gordon moved to Public Works, and we now have a vacancy on Public Safety because Mr. Haviland has resigned.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Kennedy?
If you would like, I actually have that report up. I can read it in.
We could do that, then the public knows who's on the various committees. I appreciate that.
No problem. So the 2021 Committee on Committees comprised of Council President Deanne Shaw, past President Tawny Andrews, and at-large member Deborah Ross met on January 13th to complete the annual organization of committee as follows. Finance, Katie Catchman, Chair, Deborah Ross, Vice Chair, John Mackey, Deanne Shaw as members. Public Safety, Tawny Andrews, Chair, Alan Richrod, Vice Chair, Margot Short, David Haviland, members. Public Works, Nathan Kennedy, Chair, Joshua Francie, Vice Chair, Frank Gordon, Liz Ellis as members.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? All in favor of this report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The special agenda item is adopted. Now I'll move to public comment. Ms. Soul, would you please note for the record any public
Point of order,
comments?
Mayor. Point of order.
Yes, sir.
We skipped additions and deletions.
Actually, he did that already. What he skipped was special agenda items, but then picked that up when we just caught up. We're all caught up now.
Okay. Ms. Soul, will you please note for the public any public comments that have been submitted?
There have not been any, Mayor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'll move on to Finance Committee Chair, Councilmember Catchman.
Good evening. Finance Committee met tonight at 6 p.m. via Zoom. We primarily discussed the items that are on the agenda tonight, which I'm going to get into momentarily. Before I do that, I would like to make a motion to recommend City Council schedule a workshop with the Downtown Aberdeen Association to bring the full council up to speed on what they've been doing the past couple of years with the Main Street designation, as well as their future plans.
I second that.
Motion is made and seconded to schedule a workshop with the Downtown Main Street group. Is there any other discussion?
That
We're
would
hoping to
be-
schedule that next Wednesday,
Okay.
correct?
Yes,
February 3rd.
February 3rd.
right.
And Mayor Shave,
Yes.
I kind of had a little hand in this. You know, the contract that we had the past few years with Main Street was a startup contract. And before we go forward, it just seemed like a good idea with so many of us new who weren't on the council when we entered into this relationship that we just, I've used this word before. I'm going to try and think of a better one because I've said it so many times now, but it's just a good time to maybe recalibrate our relationship with Main Street and what our efforts to revitalize downtown will look like going forward. Because the major deliverable was to become a Main Street association, which they are, but maybe it's time to figure out what does that mean looking forward for Aberdeen. And this is a chance for all of us to ask them questions. They know that we want to do this. They're very willing to come. And I just highly recommend that we meet next week and all have a chance to confer on what our relationship looks like going forward.
Thank you, Council President Shaw. Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor of motion to have a workshop February 4th with the downtown group?
February 3rd.
February 3rd.
February 3rd.
Oh. I just looked at the calendar too. Thank you. Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay,
Next,
thank you.
Mayor Shave, I move we approve the expenditures and payroll.
I second.
Motion was made and seconded to approve the expenditures and payroll. There any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Oh, that's a roll call vote. All-
Yep.
The The motion to approve accounts payable in the total amount of $447,716.70 and payroll in the total amount of $90,381. Check numbers 71857 through 72004. I'll conduct the roll call. Councilmember Andrews,
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis,
Yes.
Councilmember Francie,
Yes.
Councilmember Gordon,
Yes.
Councilmember Cashman,
Yes.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilmember Mackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Richrod,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
Councilmember Short.
Yes.
The vote was unanimous. Approved.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have a report from Finance and the Community Development Director recommending that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign the amendment with Aberdeen Revitalization Movement doing business as Main Street for Professional Services Agreement to extend the term of the agreement to February 28th, 2021 for a total additional sum of $10,000. I move we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Under discussion, Councilmember Ellis.
Yes, I would like to table a vote on this until after our workshop.
I
Under
second
discussion,
that.
what she said.
A table needs a second and there's not one.
I second that.
Margot did.
Oh, motion was made and seconded to table this till after next week, the workshop. Is there any discussion? Under discussion, Councilmember Kennedy.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say that we did have a committee, ad hoc committee meeting on this, and really all this is doing is keeping the current contract going for a period of time so that we can have that workshop and work on the contract negotiation. Otherwise, the funding stops and things cut off, and it could have other, ramifications with the whole process. So really, this is just a stopgap to keep things going for the next 2 months while we do that negotiation and figure that stuff out.
And I would agree with what Councilmember Kennedy said. I think we owe it to the association, Downtown Aberdeen Association, to keep the funding there while we discuss further negotiations with them.
Thank you. Councilmember Andrews.
I sat on the ad hoc committee too, but I don't think that Councilmember Ellis or Councilmember Short, they're just asking us to table it. And if we tabled it to the next council meeting, I mean, if that's what council wants, I will support that.
But that's a month without funding.
But I mean, I can't imagine that their whole fund depend, but okay, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna support what the council wants, and if that's what the council wants, then I'm gonna support it.
Council President Shaw.
So I would just, I feel some culpability in this if council members feel like they don't really know what's going on, because it was my call during budget when it was clear that Main Street was going to be budgeted, even though we still didn't have a contract yet. It was my call not to try and squeeze in another workshop before the end of the year. And they certainly would have done that if that's what we wished. And I would feel pretty bad if we cut off funding because we didn't arrange a meeting before their contract ended. So Main Street is budgeted, and all we're asking for, because of our schedule, that we not cut off funding to them while we continue to look at what a relationship might look like going forward. So I would ask that we support at least going forward, that for at least this
Councilmember Andrews.
I understand it was in the budget. I did bring it forward to a lot of people's attention that this contract was going to run out. And I understand that we put it off, but just because something's in the budget doesn't mean that we have to. I'm just, we as council have that. So anyway, we can take it to a vote and see.
Councilmember
I
Kennedy.
totally agree.
Thank you very much. I just had a quick question. I'm not sure who can actually answer this, but if we do table this until after the workshop and then decide to vote, if the funding was determined necessary, would that become retroactive and they would just get the funding anyways? Or would it just kind of go away?
Councilmember Shaw.
Would be, again, a council prerogative, Councilmember Kennedy. But I would I know that council members have gotten some emails that we've been given some information that it's from, and I plan to share the emails I got about Main Street with Main Street so that they can address them with us. But I think that, it's not fair. To me, it doesn't seem fair to yank funding when we've not had a conversation.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councilmember Gordon.
I think we're ready for a vote, and I'd like to ask for it to be a roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Anyone else?
We're voting a roll call vote on the tabling of this item.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. City Clerk, would you have a roll call vote, please,
Yes.
on the item of tabling the funding, the 2-month funding agreement with Main Street?
Yes. Councilmember Andrews,
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis,
Yes.
Councilmember Francie,
No.
Councilmember Gordon,
Yes.
Councilmember Koshman,
No.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilmember Mackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Richrod,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
No.
Councilmember Shaw,
No,
Councilmember Short,
Yes.
7 yeses, 4 noes.
Thank you. So the motion carries. The subject is tabled until it's brought up again. There was no schedule of when it would be brought up. Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is a report from Finance and the Community Development Director recommending that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign the municipal services agreement with Greater Grace Harbor, Inc. and pass the resolution establishing a city-funded small business hospitality industry resiliency grant program. I move we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Any discussion? Under discussion, Councilmember Kennedy.
Thank you very much. I would just like to, once again, thank city staff and everybody on the committee. We talked a lot and worked hard to come up with solutions. And I think we've got a really good program here. Thank you so much for everybody's really hard work in getting this going.
Anyone else? Councilmember Katzman.
Yeah, I think with this item, I'm personally really excited about it. I know when we had other opportunities in the past to help our small businesses with COVID relief, that came with some restrictions that were very difficult to work around. And I believe the way that we've designed this will really help our small businesses that continue to struggle, especially the ones that are currently most impacted by COVID-19.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councilmember Gordon?
Yes, just a question. Is this downtown small businesses or is it Aberdeen itself, small businesses?
Aberdeen itself.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilmember Richrod?
Is this, I'm admit to being less familiar with this than I should be, but it's more than a duplication of what the Greater Grace Harbor is doing. Is this in addition to that? Small business hospitality industry, hotels. And I just like a little more about the mechanics of what this is going to do and how it's going to work.
Well, I'm willing to say a little something about that. Is that okay?
Councilmember Ross?
I think with this latest shutdown of restaurants and bars and, breweries and other hospitality related businesses, we just felt like this was just a blow that a lot of them couldn't take. And we wish we could help them more, but as Nathan indicated, we've worked really hard to come up with a plan to help the businesses in those industries to kind of recoup some of the losses that they're experiencing during this latest shutdown to keep them going until they can reopen at a higher capacity.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Councilmember Kennedy?
Thank you very much. And thank you, Deb, or Councilmember Ross. Just to tack on to that, because I think part of Ellen's question was about Greater Grace Harbor's involvement in it. And what we decided was that instead of having city staff administrate this, which when we were doing the CARES funding, it was a real strain on city staff and their ability to contact the businesses and process the applications and that kind of thing. So we all decided that it would just be much better to have an organization like Greater Grace Harbor that really has their finger on the businesses in our area to do the administration of this grant, and it's really great that they're gonna be able to really make sure that this money gets where it needs to go to.
Thank you.
And go ahead.
Councilmember Ross?
I just wanted to add too that they've been administering grants for other organizations, so they've got the process already in place, which will make it a lot easier.
Anyone else? Councilmember Ellis, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, would folks who have an Airbnb like accommodation, would they be able to qualify for these grant funds? So short-term lodging?
You want me to answer that?
Lisa Scott could answer that.
Yes, please.
If they're a legal business, currently right now, we don't have any legal Airbnbs. So I should take that back. I have one legal Airbnb that followed the rules and procedures. So I would say unless they are a legally established business, meaning they went through potentially a conditional use permit, depending which zone they're in, and if they have a city business license, that would be required.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, all in favor of this report, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. The report is adopted.
All right. And last item for Finance Committee is a resolution establishing a city-funded small business hospitality industry resiliency grant program to mitigate citywide economic impacts from the November 2020 business restrictions mandated by Washington State related to the public health pandemic of the novel coronavirus and COVID-19. I move we adopt this resolution.
I second.
Motion was made and seconded to approve this resolution. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The resolution has been approved.
For the record, that's resolution 2021-02.
And that is all from the Finance Committee tonight.
Thank you, Council Chair Catchman. Committee Chair, report from Council Chair Kennedy, or from Public Works Chair Kennedy.
Thank you very much, Mayor Shave. This is Nathan Kennedy, Public Works Chair. First of all, I would just like to take a moment to thank Mr. Haviland for his term of service. I know he's stepped down, but it really takes a lot to move into this position and give up a bit of our time to do this. So thank you very much. You will be missed. Public Works Committee met the other day at 4 o'clock. We were actually all on time, which was fantastic. And we discussed our items on the agenda tonight. I'd also like to welcome our newest committee member, Frank Gordon. I will really try not to, go to my Batman days and call you Commissioner Gordon. But it's really good to have everybody on this committee. I think we've got some really good minds and some really good ideas to move things forward. Speaking of moving forward, under reports and communications, we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the City Council shall authorize the Public Works Department to purchase a 2021 Dodge Ram from Dwayne Lane's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram per following state bid solicitation guidelines in the amount of $37,153.25. I move that we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Kennedy.
Thank you very much. We actually did have a discussion on this during the meeting about the bid process, and we actually had a request to Council President Shaw, who is in attendance, to set up another workshop in the near future to actually go over this bidding process and how it works, so that the whole council can benefit from understanding that. Because part of what was questioned is why we were going with a dealership that was not local to us, and ways that we might be able to help encourage local dealerships to participate in this process.
Any other discussion? Council President Shaw.
Just to expand a little bit, my thinking on that is that we will definitely include more information about our process, because when we adopted our budget, we promised ourselves that we were going to hold some finance workshops so that we can, early in the year, so that we can plan toward trying to close the gap between what we're spending in reserves and our actual expected cash. And so we'll incorporate hopefully more of the bidding process and how that works into any conversations about our future, our budget.
So this item was being purchased through the state master contract agreement, and it was budgeted. It's the water department budgeted $40,000 for this purchase.
There's no dispute, Mayor, there was no dispute in the discussion about the purchase or the need for it, just the process and how we got to the end result of going with an out-of-town provider.
Well, that's usually dictated by the group, the organization we belong to with the state. It's through the state program. Okay, is there any other discussion? Councilmember Richrod.
So just to clarify then, and I'm sure I'm going to get asked about this, about why it didn't go to the local dealer, and it was a victim of the process then, I understand. Okay, and we're going to fix that. So, all right.
Can't.
Councilmember Andrews, do you have a comment?
I was gonna say it's part of the state process. So we're gonna have a workshop to explain how it works according to Deanne and them. So,
Yeah,
you know, there is a method to the madness that the state uses. And like Deanne said, we'll have a workshop so we can explain how that works.
Agreed. It's just really important that we all understand.
thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of this report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The report is adopted.
Okay, moving on, we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the Public Works Director shall be authorized to execute task order number 7 for the North Shore Levee project under supplemental agreement number 6. I move that we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Council Member Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Just under discussion, this is part of the new task order system. So we're going to be seeing, you know, a lot of task order reports like this. And this particular one is for the new Fry Creek pump station at the new location. And this is going to initiate the planning process for it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Chris Koski, did you have a comment on this that you wanted to make?
Yeah, I was just debating it. This, just a correction. This is for the a different task. Councilmember Kennedy, I think you're referring to one that we recently passed for the Fry Creek Pump Station. This one is for there's the scope that's attached that lists what it's for, and it's mostly for easement descriptions and survey related tasks.
It's a budgeted amount and it's externally financed.
Correct.
Okay, any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The report is adopted.
Okay, moving on. Next, we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the City Council shall authorize the Public Works Department to purchase a Bobcat compact excavator from Bobcat in the amount of $70,641.09. I move we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. I knew hands were going to fly. I was going to try to say something before you could get your hand up. Any discussion? Councilmember Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Just under discussion, this is a piece of equipment that we're actually purchasing using some money provided by FEMA. And the city's actual expenditure on this is only going to be $9,205.14. This amount was not budgeted, so it will create a supplemental budget item. But it's also equipment that our Public Works Department really needs. And, you know, for that price, I mean, that's an amazing deal that we're going to be able to, you know, provide necessary equipment to make their jobs a lot more efficient and work better.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor of this report, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The report is adopted.
Okay, next we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the City Council shall authorize the Public Works Department to purchase a Bobcat compact track loader from Bobcat in the amount of $64,909.62. I move we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Kennedy.
Once again, under discussion, this is another item that is being purchased primarily using FEMA money, and our match on this is only $8,113.70. It is not a budgeted item, so once again, this will create a supplemental budget. But again, for this equipment and paying, that little to match it, I think this is, an amazing use of our funds.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of this report, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The report is adopted.
Okay, next we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the Water Department be allowed to extend the baseline utility rate in the amount of $500 per month for water charges for a period of 2 calendar years. Once the period is up, the Public Works Director will reevaluate the proposed baseline fee and make any necessary changes if needed. I move we accept this report.
Second.
The report was made and seconded to adopt this report. Any discussion? Councilmember Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Just under discussion, because the agenda item did leave out the customer that this pertains to, and the customer is the Grays Harbor Poggy Club. That is the only customer that this report actually pertains to.
Grays Harbor Poggy Club, and they have a fish hatchery up the Wishkah above our water filtration system. And they're a great organization. And one of the positive effects of what this involves for you newer council members that haven't seen this before is when they pull water out of our water line system prior to our filtration plant, it actually helps send cleaner water down line to our filtration plant, which saves us a lot of money on filters. So it's a good deal, and they're a good organization. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of this report?
Oh, Margot has had her hand up.
Oh, Margot, go ahead.
Yes, please. Will the minutes reflect the fact that this is going to the Poggy Club?
Yes.
That made it very vague in the agenda and so on. And I think it does need to be designated.
The report,
That's why I brought it up in discussion.
Yeah.
The report on the agenda just doesn't, it's shortened and it doesn't say the Poggy Club. But under the legislative report, it does. Makes that clear. So we can make sure that's in the agenda.
No, minutes.
I mean, the minutes. Any other discussion?
Yeah.
Seeing none, all in favor of this report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This report is adopted.
Okay, moving forward, we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the City Council shall authorize the mayor to execute the agreement with the WashDOT local agency division that obligates the city to spend $19,839 for the West Aberdeen Safety Improvements Project. I move that we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was been made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Chris Koski actually said this much more eloquently, but essentially what this is going to do is provide a lot of very necessary traffic safety improvements to our area. Just a short list is 15 curb ramps, 14 painted crosswalks, and many stop bars, which are in place to, and Chris, please correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but the stock bars help to position cars when they're coming up to a stop so that they actually know where to stop at. And this is just our match to a much larger grant amount that we're getting for this. So I think this is gonna really improve our safety and keep our traffic moving the way it should.
Thank you. I think this also is There's projects at some of our grade schools. where the-
AJ West. Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of this report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. This report is adopted.
Okay, next we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the City Council shall pass a resolution setting February 10th, 2021 as the date for the public hearing for the Transportation Benefit District 2021 Annual Project Plan. I move we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. The report is adopted.
And last on reports, we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the City Council shall pass a resolution continuing its support for a basin-wide solution to flooding and aquatic species restoration. I move we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. This report is adopted.
Okay, moving forward into resolutions. First, we have a resolution authorizing the City of Aberdeen to accept a loan through the Clean Water State Revolving Fund for a loan amount of $795,000 and an interest rate of 1.2%. I move that we adopt this resolution.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to approve this resolution. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The resolution has been approved.
And that's resolution number 2021-03 for the record.
Thank you.
All right. And next we have a resolution setting the date for a public hearing on the annual project plan for the Transportation Benefit District for the year 2021. I move that we approve this resolution.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to approve this resolution. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The resolution has been approved.
That's resolution 2021-04.
Okay.
Okay, moving on, our last resolution, we have a resolution of the City of Aberdeen continuing its support for a basin-wide solution to flooding and aquatic species restoration at a critical point in time. I move that we approve this resolution.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to approve this resolution. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Resolution 2021-05.
Okay.
And,
Thank you.
and that is all from Public Works.
Thank you. A committee chair report from Councilmember Andrews.
Hi, so public safety met this evening. And you know what, the biggest topic of conversation that we had is the mass vaccination clinic that's going on right now. The County of Grace Harbor is putting on a mass vaccination clinic. So we're just gonna explain a couple of things about it just for public knowledge. Over 5,000 people have signed up for the vaccination clinics. They're only calling people for appointments. So if you get a phone call for an appointment, that means that you qualify for the phase we're currently in and you'll get an appointment. And so, you know, just because you haven't got a call yet doesn't mean you aren't signed up and on the list. It just means that they haven't gotten to you yet. So just be patient. Right now, they're doing about 100 cars a day. They hope to ramp that up to 200 cars a day. But that's all a matter of availability of the vaccine and volunteers. So if anybody wants to volunteer, you can call 964-1850. If you go to the Grace Harbor County website, there's a COVID banner, and you can fill out the form there to get signed up for, to get in line for your vaccine, and they will call you when it's your turn. So we have volunteers. Our wonderful VIPs have been volunteering with traffic control, making phone calls. I plan on calling to volunteer on my Monday off, so that I can help them make phone calls if that's what they need. I don't think they want me sticking people with needles. So, but if anybody has medical training that can help them with that, please reach out to them, because the more help they get, the more people that they can get through those lines. So as far as our items on the agenda, we have one item on the agenda tonight, and it's to surplus. If anybody's seen the blue SUV with the white stripe down the side of it, the one that looks different than all the other APD SUVs, they're going to repurpose that one to the animal shelter. And so the truck that the animal shelter or the animal control officer is using now is going to end up with the VIPs. But they'd like to surplus the box off the back. So we have a report from Public Safety and the police chief recommending that the Aberdeen Police Department be allowed to surplus the box from the back of the animal control pickup to be sold. I move we accept this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to accept this report. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The report is adopted.
So again, I know I said those phone numbers real fast, but if anybody wants me to repeat them, they can reach out to me and I will be happy to provide that information to whoever. And that is the end of public safety.
Thank you, Committee Chair Andrews. Also, you could go to healthygraceharbor.org and the blanks to fill out is on there. You go to the COVID site and click there, and then you can go down to anyway. You get signed up, and I would say this, that if they call you for your appointment, I'd recommend dropping everything and going to get your appointment, because it might be get tougher and tougher to get in there. So take advantage of it if it comes up for you. Okay, thank you. Moving on. Special agenda items. I'll read this. I put this on here, so I might as well read it. This report is offered as informational only and no action is recommended. On January 25th, 2020, or 2012, January 25th, 2021. That's what it is. It's reversed. David Haviland, representing Ward 1, Position 1, resigned via email, effective immediately. Under city and state law, the city council members are charged with replacing a vacancy in the council. All interested voters from Ward 1 should provide letters of interest along with a resume to Mayor Shave by Friday, March 5th, 2021, to allow city council to review and make a selection for qualified persons to fill the positions. I was also authorized by Dave to say he took a new job, and the new job would interfere with him being able to keep his seat on the city council, and so that's why he's resigning. So there's no nothing. We don't have to do anything. So I'll move on to council comment period. Is there anyone on the council has any comments? Councilmember Ellis.
Yeah, being the start of a new year, I just wanted to encourage citizens and business people and others of Aberdeen to reach out and connect with us, specifically people's representative on council. There are a lot of things coming up. We want to hear what your priorities are, what your interests are, so that we can better represent you. And join us at these meetings from the comfort of your home. Having more of us weighing in is just really good for our process and for coming up with a city that's great for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on the council? Councilmember Kennedy?
Thank you very much, Mayor. First, I'd just like to say that anybody that might be looking at that open Ward 1 position and saying, I'm not a politician and this isn't for me, well, guess what? None of us are really politicians. We're just members of our community that want to, do what we can to make sure that our city grows and to, see that our city is progressing forward and growing. So I have no aspirations to do, anything more than city council because, I'm not a politician. I don't like politics. So, please, really consider putting your name into the bowl for us to consider, and definitely email us and let us know who you are, because we are just a group of people that wants to make our city better. The other thing I just wanted to bring up really quick is we have a lot of farms that are really starting to pop up in our area, which I think is really awesome. And they are starting, they're in the process of doing what's called a CSA, which is community assisted farming. And it's a prepay type of deal where you pay an amount at this time of year to that farm, and that gives them the funds that they need to actually, grow their produce and do whatever they're going to do. And then during a period of the year, you get a box, usually on a weekly basis. I'd really encourage everybody to seek those out, because the more we can get our food locally, the better it's going to be for you, the fresher it's going to be, the longer it's going to last in your fridge or on your counter. And also, the farmers that in our area are just doing it right. So please definitely watch out for them. And everybody be safe out there. We're almost through this pandemic. We're going to get through it, and we're going to be strong. So
Thank you. I just made a beef stew this week with vegetables grown locally in my backyard.
You didn't invite us.
Awesome.
Yeah. Councilmember Andrews.
I just want to piggyback off what Nathan said, that none of us are politicians. None of us want to be politicians. But we're all just a little bit crazy. We all want to, but we'll train you to be crazy with us. And we're all very nice, and we all help each other as much as we can. So, if anybody is interested, it's the seatmate to my ward. So, reach out to any of us if you happen to know any of us, or feel free to reach out to me, and I'll give you the lowdown of what it involves.
Thank you. Councilman Francie.
Yes, I just wanted to talk about my proposed ordinances about plastic serviceware, which is a catch-all for utensils, straws, and packages. The ordinances I'm proposing are copy and paste of the City of Portland's ordinances. Since last time we talked, besides finding microplastics in water, air, and soil, they've also found it in placentas. And the newest study is called Plasticenta. You guys want to check that out? I've also been reading the Endocrine Society's report on endocrine disruptors, chemicals, which are additives that they use into the plastic process, which mess with people's hormones, basically. Give me just a second here. Let's see. The report says many plastic additives are known to interfere with hormone functioning and are by definition endocrine disrupting chemicals. This publication provides clear and extensive evidence of the human health impacts of many chemicals in common plastics. The health impacts on these widely used chemicals can be profound and life-threatening. Cancers, diabetes, kidney, liver, and thyroid impacts, metabolic disorders, neurological impacts, inflammation, alterations to both male and female reproductive developments, infertility, and impacts to future generations as a result of germ cell alterations are the consequence of many EDC exposures. EDCs that are integral to plastic. I can forward this report to everybody else if you guys are interested in it.
Okay. Councilman Rich Rod, did you have comment?
Yeah, I had my little, part of it was seeing how that little hand thing worked, but did, Councilmember Andrews might have an answer to this. Did anybody or you, Mayor, get any kind of a handle on the vaccine supply for the county? I'm finding information that we're running out, or some that say that we have plenty, and I'm not really getting any concrete information about one way or the other.
No, you won't.
The county gets 4,800 a month.
A month.
Mm.
Yeah. So they're being shipped 4,800 vaccines per month.
Okay. I did not know that. Good.
Yeah, they are hoping to increase the amount that we vaccine every day. So they are trying to get up to, I think, 1,000 a week. So that's why they said they were going to try to ramp up to 200 cars a day. But right now they're doing 100. But some of that's in limitation to the amount of volunteers that they have.
That would make sense. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Councilmember Short.
Yes, getting back to Public Works. In my years on council, I know that Public Works uses a lot of equipment and so on. And I know that every bit of their equipment costs a lot. We had 2 items tonight that were, while they're not monstrous costs, they were not budgeted, supplemental budget coming up. Can we, and I'm trying to remember from our finance reports, can we get a report by mid-year about what that supplemental budget is looking like, so that, we can be prepared at the end of the year? And Tawny, did I say that right?
Yeah, Patricia Soul.
Yeah, I would like to look into doing more than one supplemental budget. If we have a lot of changes that happen by mid-year, I think that would be a good time to update our budget numbers. So you're looking at accurate numbers versus finishing it up at the end of the year. Cash basis, I don't see why that couldn't happen. So definitely by mid-year, we'll know something.
So mid-year, we could balance our budget and then
We
at
could
the end of
update
the
it for anything that's been approved at council or changes that we're aware of.
Yeah. Great.
I would like that. I'd appreciate that. It's a good idea.
Okay, that sounds great. Is there anyone else? Okay, seeing none. Council President Shaw?
Mayor Shea?
Yes.
So I would move at this time to recess into executive session. Action is not anticipated after the executive session, and the purpose of this session is to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to agency enforcement actions, or to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency litigation or potential litigation to which the agency, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when public knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency. Before I complete my motion, can you share how long you think we need for this meeting?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I don't know how long we need. Do you, I'd say 30 minutes. I would, 30 minutes, and we'll extend it if need be.
Yeah, that's good. And if we get done early, we can shorten it if we need less. Okay,
Is there a second?
I'll second.
motion has been made and seconded to recess to executive session. There will be no action taken after the recess. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Oh, under discussion, Councilmember Kennedy.
Just really quick, are we staying in this meeting for it? Because I did not get a second email for an executive session.
And me neither.
Zoom
It came a
meeting.
couple days ago.
It went out a few days ago, but
I can resend it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll need to find out.
We need to close and leave here.
Not again. Leave.
Council will be at the executive session up to 30 minutes or longer, depending. We will notify you if it goes beyond 30 minutes. When they're done, there is no action expected to be taken, and this is the last item on the agenda. So they'll come back, they will acknowledge that the meeting's over and leave. So just for people that are attending, so you understand what's happening. Thank you.
Okay. So this is Mayor Shave. It is now 9:06. And we will reconvene at and we will reconvene.
I think we need a motion.
So we need a motion to do that.
I so move that we reconvene the meeting.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to reconvene the meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. The meeting is reconvened.
Now, Deborah.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adjourn. If there's no objections, I'll call this meeting adjourned.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
all.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Stay
you.
healthy.
Should get a star.